right, friends, let me introduce you to one of my favorite league coaches. This is Tiffany Sommers with Walktall Elevation. We're doing this little series called Clearing the Confusion when it comes to coaching and just taking those misconceptions and clearing them. Welcome, Tiffany.
Hi.
Tell me if you could think of one or two when you thought of coaching, maybe before you started coaching or in the process of coaching, becoming a coach, all of the things. What is a misconception that maybe you had about what coaching is or isn't?
That you guys were going to tell me what to do and how to fix my own problems.
Right, yeah. And I think that's a big thing. So that doesn't work for me. I'm not always the one that wants to be the rule follower. And I'm especially not trying to do what everybody else is telling me to do.
Right.
So if it doesn't work for me, I can't expect, to tell other people what to do and that it would fix it. Can you tell our friends what coaching actually is when it comes to that process and that concept?
Coaching is where we pretty much guide people into seeing a different perspective to their problems and helping them find the solution to fix their problem.
Right. So what works for them? So that difference between coaching and consulting is going to be great if you need to be told what to do, like that's how your personality works, or if you're working with a big group of people that all need to be on the same page. That's when you want a consultant to come in. But coaching is better for that individual or that small team, that what works best for them. Like, how does it work best for you? If I'm going in and I'm coaching Tiffany, it's going to be more of, all right, Tiffany, tell me where you're at. Tell me what it looks like. How do you think, right? What works for you? What feels good to you? What is honoring to you? And then we just have those questions stored in our back pocket. And not just those questions, but we have what coaches call powerful questions that we ask to help, like you said, give that new perspective.
It makes you think outside the box from your normal thinking.
Right. Yeah. Because if we're in the middle of the mess, it's hard to see. I had a conversation with a friend this weekend, and he said, Ashley, because we were talking about sometimes it's so hard for a coach to get the client to see they need the help, right? Even if life is going wonderful, because it doesn't have to just be problems. Life could be going great, and you just want it to be even better. Well, they don't see they have the problems. And he told me, he said, Ashley, does a cup know if it has a crack? No. Like a cup is just a cup, right? It just is a cup. That's all it knows, is it's a cup. It doesn't realize if it has the crack. And that's us. Like, we're in the mess, we're in our cup. And sometimes we don't realize we have this crack that's letting out all of this fluid or all of this stress or all of this worry or drama or whatever. And just simply somebody else could come along and be like, hey, let's put some glue in your crack right here and fill this up for you. And you never even knew it was a thing. I thought that was kind of a cool way of looking at it, that if we're in our mess, kind of really hard to see the mess. And so having somebody else help you see that different perspective from the outside makes it all the world different. Can you think of another misconception that maybe somebody else has had or told you or asked you as you've gone along this process?
Venting session.
Yeah, like we're just...
I've heard that. It's a venting session, but it's not.
Right. Because the client does do most of the talking, right? And a lot of times we are getting it out. And it's that place to have that safe space to get it out, that non-judgmental place to get it out. But the cool thing I love about coaching is it's not about right now. It's about forward movement. So if we just vented, then you just feel better right now, but how are we moving forward? So having those questions and things to get us moving forward.
So I was the one who thought it was a venting session. And
I like it.
Okay. Be honest. Let's be honest here. Okay. Because I felt like that's what I was doing. I was just venting about all the things going on in my life. But the coach was able to go, you need to look deeper. Out of all my venting, they hyper focus on what really is going on.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
Right. Yeah. Because as people, 99% of the time, we speak surface level, right? Or we might see, man, this person is irritating me. But if we stop and we look, 99% of the time, that's happening in lots of areas in life. It just looks different. And there's that underlying cause, that underlying root that's causing you to be irritated at work, to be irritated at home, to be short-tempered with your spouse or whatever. However it shows up, 99% of the time, it's going to pop up. And if we're just just venting. We're valid in our venting, right? Like it's real, it's happening, our emotions are real and legit, but at the same time, it doesn't get us anywhere. It makes us feel better in the moment, but it doesn't get us anywhere. So being able to tie that with one in your last one, that new perspective, right? Being able to have that new perspective and move forward in that. Anything else you want to tell them? Things that maybe you've learned along the process or...
Not therapy. You have to put in the work yourself.
Right. It is not therapy at all. While we love therapy and we think therapy is a beautiful thing, and there's 100% times to have a therapist, maybe even times to have a therapist and a coach at the same time, right? This is not that.
Light bulb.
My mama told me one time, I told her I was going to go to therapy to figure out my why. Because, I always heard that you could do better if you knew your why. And I just knew I was a workhorse, right? Like I just was working all the time. I didn't actually know why I was working. I told her, I said, Mama, I'm going to go to therapy to figure out my why. She was like, you must really want to know your why. All right. Thanks, friends. I'm glad we got to come hang out with you, introduce Tiffany to you. She will be one of the lead coaches that you maybe will coach with. So if you have any questions, reach out and we will see you soon.